Hey guys, it's me again. We're just kind of rolling through this. I hope this is good. The next thing that I thought might be helpful is just to walk through a little bit of what a core looks like in a building. And from what I hear, is that, there's a precedent projects, of course. And I encourage you to look at those. I also encourage you to look at alternative layouts like you would on your precedent projects from your case study research, right? So if you're doing a mass timber building, why not also use the case study as your reference core, as long as it fulfills the requirements of the program. So that all being said, let's jump into it here. So I've got my nice little grade plan here. You might notice I could see quite a bit of the column capital here. Oh, is this below? What is this? Oh, that's okay. What I want to get to anyways is something to show our core. So core is in the middle of a building typically, as you can imagine. It's the core of where our elevator shafts go, storage, usually a set of washrooms. If I jump up a level here, I've got some, jump up a level, I said. We've got some washrooms, electrical, two fire stairs, something like this. Now, if you take a look at section D in the design manual for this class, I saw that you got a whole suite of options to choose from. So I leave it to you. You could check out any of these. I had heard murmurings that E is not available. I actually think E is a great one. So I'm going to double check with our coordinator here and make sure everything's cool. But I think this is a great option for anybody who's exploring this. And I really think that as a foundational part here, it's up to you how you want to draw it. But for me, what I'd like to do is just kind of hang out with it in the basement and imagine what it might look like for our parking. So I'm going to real quick here turn on my mass and see what, right, the outline for our massing is going to be the same as our property line. Something weird's happening here. Negative 280. Sorry, I'm just realizing something. Not sure why it's showing up like that. Oh, I see. They're the wrong height. Level 1. That's why. Level 1. Sometimes you see these little incongruencies and you're like, what is this? Okay, same thing down here. Basement level 1, that's accurate. Oh, base offset. Nope, that's correct. Oh, I see. Ta-da. Okay, let's save this real quick. So what is this? I guess I gotta call this cores. So let's just make sure before we do this, save my little project here. I'm just gonna call this cores. So really, it's up to you. Where do you want to put the core? I think what's important for us is some people want to draw the core floor by floor. So perhaps you want to draw every level with its own modeled element. So, it makes it easier to change later. Some people want to draw the core as one continuous shaft through the whole building, which in fact it is. So if we imagine we've got, here we've got pretty consistently stacked elements, right? So we've got, washrooms all the way up. We want to stack those. Electrical closets, we want to stack those. The stair seems self-explanatory. Mechanical systems also so. And the elevators also very similarly would like to have those stacked. Seems pretty straightforward to me. So what I'm going to do real quick here is I'm going to draw what I think would be roughly our elevator stair core piece. And I know as a reference here, I'd given myself a little bit of a test to the size. Oh, core F, I see. So core F is here. So core E is here, core F is there. This is some other version. This must be core, where's in the middle here? I guess core A. Oops. Yeah, something like core A. Just to get us a sense of, what this looks like from a size perspective, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to measure from our precedent project. And I do, again, encourage you to measure things. Make sure you validate, the overall measurement here. But if I just take this as an idea, I've got 17 meters by, roughly 10 meters. So call it, how many bays is that in your project? And that's another really important piece, is to remember how big is your structural bay, because what's going to happen is all of these pieces are going to tie into your structural bays. So if I come back into Revit, let's just take a real quick look at, what walls do I have? So if I jump over to architecture, I'm just going to draw an architectural wall. I've got a retaining wall of 300 millimeters. That's fine for now. Usually there's something that would say generic wall for our schematic design purposes. I would encourage you to use that wall. We can always update it at a later time. So retaining wall here, I've got 17 by 10, and I got to remind myself 17 by 10, and my grid is 9 by 7.5. So 17 by 10 is going to mean roughly how many grids, right? So 17 by 10. Probably 2 grids this way by 1.5 grids the other way. So one thing to be mindful of is wall is WA for anybody who likes shortcuts. We've got WA, or come over there to the wall tool, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw my wall with the where's my shapes? Oh, there they are in my modify panel here. Making sure that I can draw some sort of shape that makes sense. I'm going to guess that my core is going to want to live somewhere in the middle of my building. So I'm going to guess that this is probably, so we got 18 by 7.5, something like this. And tab select, looks good for now. We'll go from the basement all the way up to the penthouse roof. And what we could do now is I'm actually going to go ahead and I can delete, cancel. I can go ahead and delete all of those columns, because what this concrete is doing is we're gonna tie all of our beams, all of our floor slabs into this concrete core, right? So you can see this comes all the way up through the building in one fell swoop. So I encourage you to explore this a little bit, but in terms of a core layout, it's good to kind of test this and make sure that it aligns with how you'd like to draw things. So one thing that we do want to make sure is we have enough room for likely a drive aisle. So in Entiendas, we have enough room for a parking drive aisle. Probably could have put parking here. So 3 bays. If we look at this, we've got parking, drive aisle, probably parking. But what we might do is actually shift this up by 2,500, something like this. And we should be, can't tell why these are showing up here. Oh, you know what I might have done? Let's check out our, oh, that looks okay. That looks okay. Okay. So some idea of what's going on here. And similarly on the bottom, we want to see parking, drive aisle, parking. So what do we have? We've got parking, drive aisle, parking, and then really, depending on what you want to do, maybe we have a slightly more generous series for our core. But what I would encourage you to do is find the core that you like, that works for you, and draw it up. So, how might we do that? Well, it's up to you. We got to make sure our rooms are all correctly sized. And if I was going to look at the cores here, we could see, exit stairs, women's washroom. These all come with some sizes. I encourage you to get those sizes correct and onto your core drawing. I don't know, something like this. So that being said, why don't I just pause there? I feel like getting the core up and running is going to be kind of part and parcel of how we would want to get this set of drawings together. I should also mention, if I jump to the design, if I jump to the program requirements here, what do we have? Walls and footing. So 250 resting on 300 millimeter by 1000 wide footings. So make sure that we've got these drawn in there too. I'm not going to do that right now, but important to get into the drawings. So that's all for me for now. And what we'll do in the next one is I want to make sure that we have an idea of how to get some preliminary floors into our drawings. And this will just prepare us for next week and on our way into this schematic design package. So thanks for hanging out, and talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.